Do you even long range, bro? What's up, guys? Chad back here with you on the Chad RC Models and 3D Printing channel. And yeah, I'm starting this adventure into long range FPV with my mini quads. Alright? After being at FPV Fest, seeing everybody fly around in their wings and everything like that, it was awesome. You saw the video I did on the Recruit. If not, check it out. It'll be right here somewhere. Love the plane, flies forever. Mini quads don't. 5.8 video is kind of weak. 2.4 reception is kind of weak. We all know the solution to those problems. Crossfire, Dragon Link, some kind of 2.4 or 1.3 video transmission reception on the end. So let's cut to the chase. So what I have decided is I'm going to pursue this long range stuff after listening to Kidder and WizWookie and Gap It and Dirt and Blue, Dirk I think that is. Watching these videos, Gab 707, that type of flying really intrigues me. We all know that there's limitations because of our motors and our batteries and everything else that we can carry. So I wanted to start out by basically getting some baseline data and try to figure out what frames and motors and stuff that I have that I can actually just go ahead and start doing some of this with Crossfire and 5.8. So real quick, running the LaForge 5.8 diversity in the Fat Shark V2s. I've tried different antenna combinations, different helicals and all that kind of stuff. It seems like I'm getting the best right now with the Cyclone and the X-Air 5.8. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with that for a while, video wise, and just kind of see what happens with 2.4. I know that 2.4 is where I probably want to end up, because in my baseline test flights, I'm sure you all know this, what I've noticed is that when you are down low, you obviously get multipath, but when you are down low and far away and behind things, you get multipath and you get obstruction. So you got a couple variables going against you. I'm going to just overlay some GoPro footage up here somewhere of some of my baseline flights. So my baseline flights, I was pretty surprised as far as the results I'm getting so far. The Valorum 5-inch on the 3-blade regular freestyle HQs running 2300 fire DYS motors. This weighs 353, which is still maybe a little bit heavier by 10-20 grams compared to what I've been seeing out of various 6-inch builds, I think. With the Valorum, I can actually go 6-inch, so these videos are going to be a lot about what I'm doing, and hopefully you guys will provide some feedback and say, well, maybe you want to try this prop with this setup, or maybe you want to try that. So I'm not claiming to be an expert here. I just am giving you my baselines, and hopefully you guys can help me along a little bit. So a thought is possibly going with one of my other Valorums that I have here that has a race flight on it and stuff like that, or whatever, and bumping out with the 6-inch arms that I already have and running those 2300 fires with that. Initial baseline, I was pretty surprised. I could get probably a half to 3/4 of a mile, we'll say half a mile, reliably with the Tyrannus, and video was pretty good the whole way. Video really wasn't a problem. Running the 5.8 and the Ion on the top, perhaps there's a better alternative than the Ion on there, but it's pretty light and small. So with GoPro and a 1350 pulse pack, I was getting about 650, 7 minutes of flight time, which I thought was a pretty dang good start for a 5-inch build. And you can see how I'm flying. I'm just kind of cruising around and stuff. I know at some points I go higher than I definitely would want to be flying these, because that kind of takes the fun out of it and turns it into more of an airplane. But that's just, I think, a disadvantage of running 5.8 for right now, as far as going back to that penetration and stuff like that. So what should I do with that Valorum? Should we go ahead and keep this, change out some props or whatever, or switch this entirely over to a 6-inch running beta flight and everything? Or should we play around with this race flight stuff that would be, well, it's almost as much work to do the swap on those. So the other vehicle, which I didn't get the baseline, was my Alien. Now, this was, well, my Martian. Sorry, I always wanted an Alien, so I built a Martian. So this was porking in at about 432 grams. When you really start thinking about weight, we all know weight's important. So what I did is I had the thicker plates on there, top and bottom. But you're not gonna. I don't crash a whole lot anymore, and I don't need it for stability. I'm gonna go for lightweight. So I was able to do that. Do everything from getting rid of a couple screws on each motor and going to 2. Is that something that you guys do or something that's advisable? Using shorter screws instead of some of the longer ones, so that way I get just enough bite, because we know that every gram counts. And I was able to get this down to 393 without a battery, GoPro, or an antenna. So throw another 12 to 15 grams on top of that, and I'm at about 410 on the Martian. Now this is running the TBS Silks, which are 2345 kVs. I weighted it all up with the same props and everything as well. Both of these have unifies on them, HVs, so we're getting the 800 milliwatts of power that we need, so that's not an issue. This has an XM Plus on it that has an XSR. I'm not sure the weight of the Micro V2s yet, so we'll have to see how that figures in, but it can't be that much more than an XSR, maybe a few grams more than that down there being the XM Plus. So that's just kind of where I'm sitting right now, trying to figure out what to do. I tried flying an 1800 4S with this, and I still got 7 minutes out of it. So bumping up in battery size, up in the weight, didn't factor into a longer flight time. I found that I was cruising at about 16 to 17 amps versus 10 to 11, and that's just a guesstimate, because we all know that it's kind of hard to configure that current sensor in beta flight without doing a little bit of trickery. Actually, how do you do that? Anybody know how to do that? Let me know if you got a video, link it down there so I can check that out too. 6-inch props, all I got is like gem fans right now. I know there's HQs out there. Are these good enough to test? If I throw some 6-inch arms on there, should I try some 2-bladed props on here? I know on the Tiny Whoops, running 2-bladed props increased my efficiency and gets me more flight time. I haven't tried 2-bladed props on here yet. What kind of props are we going with? 2-blade stuff. I've got some Racecraft like 5038s back there. I don't know if I have any of the old school like gem fan like 5040s or 5045s or anything like that. So again, hook me up, let me know what you think. This is what I got going on. I was pretty surprised. Like I said, 7-minute flight time, 1350 milliamp 4S pulse. That's a good baseline. That's a good start. Definitely would like to get it up into that 10, 11, 12 minutes, but I don't think that's going to happen without going to some kind of a different powertrain setup, which I don't really know if I'm ready to. I'm definitely not ready to commit to that yet, because I think this is just something that's just in its very infancy, and people are going to start going out to it. I'm not going micro vector or building a 400 frame. I've been there, done that. If I want that kind of vehicle, I'll go get a Mavic, which I've already had. I got a Spark now, and it's fine, whatever. So I'd like to go ahead and just keep it all in this realm. No Discovery Pros. Been there, done that. Long range 1.3 Dragon Link with Bixler 3, 25-mile flights. Done that. So let's do this. So let me know what you think, guys. Hook me up. Got any questions about anything I've done here? Let me know, and we'll talk to you guys later.